Hi, I'm Dr. Jim Siebert. It's time for our tropical forecast here on YouTube. Let's get right to it now. Actually, there's some different things to talk about today. Less storms. Now, we still have Victor and Sam, but the two other disturbances that the National Hurricane Center were tracking, no longer tracking anymore. Just out to the east, or to the west, I should say, of Victor, there you see that cloud cover. That was possibly going to become something, but it just never really materialized, and now it's nothing. And then you remember up here just to the north of Sam, we've been tracking something. It had a 60% chance and down to 40, 30, 20, and then gone. Upper level winds really just tore that apart. So we still have, though, tropical storm and a very healthy Hurricane Sam, which just continues to stay organized. Everything with the symmetry within the storm, the eye wall, and everything is just not weakening. And so it's kind of in that perfect scenario where the winds are coming in, the winds are coming out, and it is just growing. And what's the perfect part about this, though, is that it's staying out to sea. So it's sending some waves. For surfers, that's a good thing, I guess in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, places like that. But it's staying out to sea. And even over here by Bermuda, it's going to stay to the east of them too, so that's all good news. And it is a really strong storm. Category 4, winds over 145 miles per hour, but it's also not very big. Typically these storms like this that can hold on to Cat 4 status for a long time are not as large as these other ones. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's come over here and look at Victor. Victor is probably more than double the size of what Sam is, but it's also not nearly as strong. Now winds are at 45 miles per hour, and at this point might not even become a hurricane because the upper level winds are still not really cooperating with this, which again is fine, but it's also going to be a storm that stays out in the open waters. But it kind of gives you an idea. The size of the storm, when it's really big, it takes so much more energy to keep that organized as opposed to a smaller storm that's compact that can really get those tight winds. So, for example, Hurricane Ike that came here in 2008 in the Houston area was a Cat 1, maybe Cat 2 as it's making landfall, but it had the storm surge of a Cat 5 because your average hurricane's 100 miles across. Ike was 500 miles across. It was ginormous. That's why it produced such a big storm surge. And so we have to watch these things as far as the size, but Victor's also going to stay out to sea. Those are the only two things that are going on in the tropics. That's it. I like to say that even just after the height of hurricane season. So we just got to Victor. All we have left is Wanda before we have to go to the next side, the supplemental names. And chances are, I mean, let's face it, we're just getting into October. We're going to probably go into that supplemental list coming up probably within the next month or a couple of weeks or anyway. So that's what's happening right now. We got two storms, both of them staying out to sea just the way we like it. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow.